You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for joining us on Ace Country Radio, and we're also streaming at KPVM.TV. We're also on your Roku devices. It is Tuesday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. In our top story, we have arrests to tell you about. Our first involves a reported residential burglary. Christy Willis has details.
A Pahrump man was arrested Saturday evening after deputies responded to a report of suspicious activity at a newly constructed home. According to authorities, on March 14th at approximately 7 p.m., deputies were dispatched after a reporting party stated they were confronting a man identified as Richard Burnell at their property. While deputies were en route, dispatchers reported they could hear the suspect telling the reporting party he had a rope and was helping clean up the property. When deputies arrived, they observed 2 adult males and 2 adult females confronting a Hispanic man with a flag covering his head. The deputy recognized the man as Richard Burnell from previous law enforcement contacts. Authorities say Burnell initially refused to provide his name and resisted being placed in the patrol vehicle before eventually identifying himself. Investigators later confirmed his identity using an instruction permit located in a bag nearby. The homeowner told deputies they had been alerted by a game camera that showed an individual walking around the property and attempting to open a window and a door. The homeowner also reported several items missing, including a grinder and crocodile wipe. Burnell allegedly admitted to reaching under a screen door to open it, but denied entering the home. Burnell was charged with 1 count of possession of burglary tools, 1 count of residential burglary, second offense, and 1 count of failure to appear for a felony crime.
And a routine traffic stop here in Pahrump turns into a not-so-routine stop.
A late-night traffic stop in Pahrump Friday led to multiple charges after deputies discovered a firearm and suspected narcotics. According to authorities, on March 13th at approximately 10:40 p.m., deputies observed a gray Mazda 626 in the CVS parking lot with an improperly displayed temporary tag on the license plate. Deputies followed the vehicle onto Dahlia Street and conducted a traffic stop. The driver, identified as Shelley Benavides, was the sole occupant of the vehicle. When deputies asked her for her driver's license, she told them she only had a learner's permit and was unable to provide proof of insurance for the vehicle. Deputies informed her the vehicle would be towed due to the lack of a valid driver's license and insurance. When she opened the driver's side door, deputies observed a Ruger handgun in the door compartment. Authorities say she told the deputies that she had received the handgun as a gift, but also admitted someone had previously taken it from her because she believed that she was not allowed to possess the firearm due to a previous domestic battery conviction. While being moved to the patrol vehicle, deputies say that she dropped a clear plastic bag containing a white powdery substance. The substance was tested using a NIT kit and returned a presumptive positive result for amphetamine. Shelley was charged with 1 count of driving without insurance, 1 count of driving without a valid license, 1 count of trying to destroy or conceal evidence, 1 count of possession of a controlled substance, 1 count of owning or possessing a gun by a prohibited person.
News 25 issues a correction now regarding a story that aired on Monday. The on-screen lower third graphic unfortunately incorrectly stated that Michelle Nelson is running for Attorney General of Nye County. However, to clarify, Michelle Nelson is currently a candidate for Nye County District Attorney, a position currently held by Brian Kunze. We regret that error and apologize for any confusion during Monday's broadcast. Here now is the corrected segment.
We're with Michelle Nelson running for Nye County District Attorney. Welcome to News 25.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I saw that you were at Tower Pizza not long ago, and you were speaking to a crowd. One of the things you were really highlighting, well, I think you had a three-pronged, three-point approach. One of the things was you want to, or you will do, transparency in the office.
That is correct. That is one of my top priorities, is opening up the public records to the extent that we can within the confines of the law. I mean, there are NRS sections and prohibitions for which we have to make sure we safeguard personal information, trade secret information, things of that nature. So, but I don't have the opinion that there is a blanket denial of any public record. One of the things I want to focus on in taking office is rebuilding the public's trust, confidence, and integrity of the district attorney's office. I see that as grossly lacking at this point in time. The district attorney's office is not accountable. It's not accessible from my viewpoint to the people of Nye County. This is a public office. I am a public servant when I become district attorney, and it will be the people of Nye County that I answer to.
What would lead you to believe it's been that way?
Based on what I've heard from the public, based on what I've seen internally.
Okay. All right. So how can we get some more information on you, learn more about you, contact you?
You can visit my website. It's Nelson with the number 4, districtattorney.com. It also has my email address. It has a calendar of events of the different meet and greets in the different places that I'm going to be. And then I also have a Facebook page, which is Michelle Nelson for Nye County District Attorney.
All right. Michelle, thank you so much for coming on News 25.
Thank you for having me.
And in today's sports news, the Pahrump Little League is gearing up for their opening ceremonies this Saturday. Mikey Ruhan hits this home run now in sports.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I accidentally wore green. I apologize. The Vegas Golden Knights welcome the Buffalo Sabres this evening. Puck drop at 7 p.m. Mixed martial arts fans will have a chance to watch a historic UFC fight card near the White House on June 14th. UFC CEO Dana White says about 85,000 tickets will be given away, which is great because nothing says democracy like free fights. Fans will gather outside the White House to watch on big screens and in some areas possibly even see the octagon. The card is expected to feature 6 fights, including 2 championship bouts. The UNLV volleyball team has announced a new addition to their staff, hiring Matt Kulperman as assistant coach. And locally, Pahrump Valley Little League will hold their opening ceremony this Saturday, March 21st at 9 a.m. And let's hear for a great moment last night, Anze Kopitar, who's retiring at the end of the season, with his former teammate, Jonathan Quick. They won 2 Stanley Cups together. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Well, as we head to break, apparently Mikey does have the luck of the Irish. We could still see a little bit of his green t-shirt in front of the green screen, which we're never supposed to do. News 25 will be right back.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, we're rounding up the latest information on wild horses in our area, so Vanessa Fernandez from Southwestern Wilds joins us with a critical update on what's happening with our Pahrump Valley and surrounding area herds in the Spring Mountain Complex Roundup.
Today we're speaking with Vanessa Fernandez, Vice President of Southwestern Wilds here in Pahrump. Vanessa, the Bureau of Land Management is conducting a roundup in the Spring Mountain Complex. What does this mean for the horses here in the valley floor?
Hi there. It means our community is once again facing the removal of wild horses and burros from the land they've lived on and from the people who know them. These aren't just random horses. They are family bands, mares, stallions, and foals that people here have watched grow up. They are part of Pahrump, and for over 2 years, Southwestern Wilds has been working on a real solution, not just talking about it. We've submitted a formal proposal to provide lifelong sanctuary for these horses right here at home.
Why is this such an emotional issue for the community?
Well, because when these horses are removed, everything changes in a single day. They're taken from the only home they've ever known, separated from their families, and transported long distances to holding facilities. Across the country, we've seen horses injured, even die during or after these gathers. And here in Pahrump, people know these horses. They know the babies, the families, so when they disappear, it's not just management, it's a loss for the entire community.
Where are the horses being taken?
Well, most people think that they're going to go somewhere nearby, but they're not. Horses gathered from this southern Nevada area are typically taken to Palomino Valley Adoption Center. That's near Reno. It's about an 8 to 9 hour trailer ride. For wild horses, especially foals and family groups, that kind of transport is extremely stressful. They don't understand what's happening, only that they've been taken from home and everything familiar.
There is also confusion about helicopters. What methods are being used?
Well, here in Nye County, helicopters are not being used. In 2020, Nye County adopted a resolution opposing helicopter roundups. Instead, these gatherers use bait and water traps. But regardless of the method, the outcome is the same. The horses are still being removed from their home.
What is Southwestern Wilds offering as a solution?
Offering a real, immediate solution. Southwestern Wilds is prepared to take responsibility for these horses by providing lifelong sanctuary, veterinary care, responsible herd management, and most importantly, keeping these family bands together and here in our beloved community. We've also been working with Congressman Stephen Horsford's office and local leaders to try and pause the current roundup, giving time for our proposal to be fully reviewed by the Bureau of Land Management. This is not theoretical. Similar sanctuary models already exist, and we're ready to do it here.
What would you like the future to look like?
A future where these horses are safe, protected, and still part of this landscape, where families stay together, where the community can still see them, and where humane management replaces removal.
And how can the community support your efforts?
Well, first, thank you so much to everyone in the community that cares about these horses. The animals and your support truly matters. If people want to help, please visit southwesternwilds.org or our Facebook page to donate or be a sponsor for a horse, a burro, or an entire herd. Because at the end of the day, these horses don't have a voice, and we will continue to be that voice for them. If we already have the land, the plan, and the community behind us, then why wouldn't we choose to keep these horses safe, together, and home?
In more local news, Valley Communications is making a difference in our community every day. So Ryan from Desert View Hospital is sharing how Valley Communications fiber service is transforming the operations at the hospital.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
So having fiber has improved our efficiency tremendously. Since the fiber installation, we were able to do an entire land remediation of our building and also switch to a new medical charting system called Cerner. So the internet demands of that system could not have been accomplished prior, and so we were able to switch to that new, it's called an EMR, electronic medical record, and Cerner is really the standard for hospitals across the country. There's several out there. We were able to make that conversion, and that has increased our efficiency tremendously. We have hundreds and hundreds of devices. I mean, everything from our phones to obviously our internet to all of our internal communication systems, our CT machine, our MRI, all of our telemetry for our patients. Everything essentially is connected through the internet. Looking into the future, obviously having an amazing fiber connection allows us to continue to do more. It's our goal to always implement the best technology for our community and the best systems. And so as we go through and look at all those different processes and systems that we use, the first question is, do you have the bandwidth capability? And the answer is yes now. So it does help us tremendously in the future as well. Working with a local provider is critical to us. The hospital environment is very demanding. If something does go down, having that phone number to call our contact at VCA is huge. We don't have to wait for the techs to drive in from Vegas. We don't have to wait for their ticket system to get a ticket routed to somebody. They are here, they answer the call immediately, and obviously that is critical to our patient care. If our internet goes down, a lot of our diagnostic equipment goes down, and so it is critical to have a local provider that's responsive. At Desert View Hospital, we have a shared commitment of community, much like Valley Electric and Valley Communications, and we absolutely love our fiber, and it has enabled us to grow with our community.
Well, record-breaking temperatures are on the way. Will that impact your St. Patrick's Day plans? Find out after this break.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back. Well, it may be St. Patty's Day, but we are wishing a very special happy birthday to Julie, who deserves her own special holiday. Here's little Mikey Ruhan, who's serenading Julie on her birthday.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Julie Jennings. You are famous now. Your aunt called me up, so I'm singing it loud. You've got more fans than the anchor has hair, and better ratings than sports. Yeah, I went there. Happy birthday, Julie, we're cheering for you. Happy birthday, Julie, happy birthday to you. From your couch to the TV and Pahrump too. Oh, join me March 21st, this Saturday from noon to 2 at Our Place Coffee. Be there.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's take a look through our Lerner and Rowe WeatherCam at the St. Patrick's Day celebrations in downtown Las Vegas. And look at that leprechaun who's had a bit too much green beer. We'll take a closer look at the weather conditions on this St. Patty's Day next.
Weather is sponsored by the Nevada Dairy Farmers and the Dairy Council of Nevada, sharing the love of all things dairy. Celebrate the best moments with milk. Milk the moment. And the weather is also brought to you by the Ponderosa Dairy, Nevada's largest dairy, fresh from our farm to your table.
Well, let's take a look at our St. Patrick's Day forecast here in Pahrump in Las Vegas and throughout the Silver State. Our highs today are breaching the century mark. 102 is the high in Death Valley. Las Vegas is high today, 90, reaching record temps in a couple of days as well. Amargosa's high, 92. Beatty, 89. Goldfield's high, 79. Tonopah tops out at 77. Carson City's high today, 81. And the near weather twins of Fallon and Fernley top out in the low 80s. And it is currently 89 degrees here in Pahrump. Our high today was 90 with winds out of the west-southwest at 5 miles per hour. Humidity was low at 14%. Sunrise was at 6:51 a.m. And tonight we can expect an overnight low to dip back down into a seasonal 57-degree range. With winds out of the east-northeast at 5 miles per hour, humidity increases to 30%. Sunset will be at 6:53 p.m. And looking ahead to our 7-day forecast, we have those record high temperatures coming. We are expected to be in the mid-90s through the end of the week, and the weekend will be in the lower 90s. By this time next week, we'll be in the upper 80s, low 90s. So it's going to be warm out there, but enjoy it, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Good night.